got the Deep Rock Survivor. Been playing a little bit of that every night at the end of the night. Fun game. It's Vampire Survivors with Deep Rock flair. It's like I wouldn't buy this game if I didn't really like Deep Rock and the Deep Rock theme. But I do.
Certainly.
So I like this game. It's fun, but it's not anything super special.
Now I understand what you mean when you say that, but does that mean that it's like worse than Vampire Survivors or the like, or like the best?
Vampire Survivors is like
not a very different game, but it's a different game.
Yeah, I mean, I would at this moment I'd say Vampire Survivors is a better game. I mean, Vampire Survivors has a ton of content. It has like quests. It has pages of unlocks. A lot of different weaponry, different maps, weird little Easter eggs, tons of bosses and shit, and things that you just have to figure out on your own. It's in like an old school video game kind of way. Vampire Survivors has a lot.
Right.
This game, you fight off waves of bugs. It auto fires. The deep rocky things about it are, there are like, I don't know, like walls throughout the map, all around the map, forming the map and the pathways, but you could mine through them just by like walking at them, and you'll auto start mining through them, and you can make your own paths. And those paths are fun because, you could funnel enemies, you could use them to evade enemies. So that adds a level of complexity to the game that Vampire Survivors doesn't. And then you have the four Deep Rock Survivor classes, and each of them have like their own specific guns that you could find and upgrade. And then when you upgrade your gun all the way, just like in Deep Rock, you could overclock it, and that changes like the nature of the weapon. Like maybe now it shoots fire bullets, or maybe now it's super high damage, but the rate of fire is slower. But overall, it's not as interesting as like in Vampire Survivors, where like if you upgrade your fucking scythe all the way to the top, then your guy's just like shooting scythes all over the screen and stuff like that. That game's, I guess, just a little zanier. But this game's fun. I like the mining, and I mean it's chill. If you like Deep Rock, it's like a $10 game. Maybe worth picking it up, but I wouldn't recommend it for like just a regular Survivors genre game fan if they haven't played the Deep Rock games. Would you agree with that, John?
Right now, sure, actually 100%. But one thing to note, obviously Vampire Survivors has been out for a few years, and Deep Rock, this is an early access game. This isn't the full game out right now.
Okay, good point.
They did have a rough roadmap or whatever. I'm not going to go over it all, but pretty much everything you mentioned, all the normal stuff that you would add, like Vampire Survivors, they're looking to kind of add eventually. But I do agree that they play pretty differently in the sense that Vampire Survivors, you start weak, and over the course of 30 minutes, you become just like this ball of destruction to the point where, you can sometimes just like get up and walk away, get a drink, not move, but your guy is just so fucking strong, just radiating so much shit. Nothing can get to you. The screen is flashing. That's not going to happen in Deep Rock. At least it has not happened to me yet. I think it's actually kind of almost like a mix between a Vampire Survivors, kind of run around and let the game shoot itself, and a tower defense, in the sense that when what Lito was talking about with these walls. You're kind of setting up like kill tunnels and funneling, the bugs around these. They can go through the walls. There's enough of them. The small ones will funnel around through these tunnels. You're kind of making these tunnels, and there's big areas too, and funneling them through to get fit, your weapon that you're using, because different weapons shoot, different ways. Some, only shoot in front of you. Some, kind of like a beam around you. So you got to kind of tailor it to your character. But I play the engineer a lot, and it just adds to it. The engineer in classic Deep Rock uses turrets and stuff,
right?
And they do in this game too. I'm really playing like a tower defense game. Like I'll dig tunnels, and then I'll have my little turret placements, and I'll make the bugs run through them, and they'll get shredded, and I'll just kind of loop the map doing that.
That sounds pretty cool.
That
It
is
is,
pretty cool. Yeah, I just
but
unlocked the engineer.
I really like the engineer. But yeah, I would say my complaints right now are that yeah, I mean, there's just not that much content. Oh, I mean, it's a fair amount, but I think, and I hope they change it right now. It takes a fucking long time to unlock that shit. Like I have 13 hours in the game, and I'm like still unlocking very basic things. A system of the game I think is going to change. You know, Vito was talking about the overclocks. You know, that change how the weapons work. But to unlock those overclocks, just to like get them available for you, you first have to level the weapon up to level 12, and then you unlock it. And then the next run, while you're leveling your weapon up, you can unlock overclocks. So it's like a completely dead fucking run. When you get a new weapon, you're like, oh, I'm gonna try and just unlock this thing's overclocks.
Right.
You're putting all your resources into just leveling it up for no payoff except for, you know, unlocking it during the next run. So it's just like a kind of a weird system. It just makes the game kind of, you have to play more matches than I think you should. You usually
Right.
don't even end up winning those because you're not powered up, you know, because you didn't have the overclock.
Yeah.
I could see that changing, but yeah, overall, I'm having a lot of fun. And like, yeah, I mean, if you know, I said this a bunch, you know, before these new games were announced. I really like the Deep Rock property, and I always thought that it could do spin-off games well. And I think this is proof. And it's not amazing. It's not gonna, you know, pull in people like Vampire Survivors did, but I think it's a totally solid game in the series and in the genre.
Yeah. Yeah. And I genuinely mean that I like this game because I like the Deep Rock theme, like you said. And I think it does feel like I'm almost playing like a top down Deep Rock. Like the formula carries over really well and it does feel like Deep Rock.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to take away too much from it. It was also not an expensive game.
Yeah, certainly. And it makes me more excited for, I think,
oh yeah,
in the summer, when it's fall, I don't know, whatever it is, the Deep Rock, like, roguelite that's coming out.
so stoked for that. Did you beat a run yet? I haven't beaten like a run. I know Alex was talking about like he beat a run.
Yeah, Alex seemed like he's beaten a few of them. I've gotten, after I unlocked the engineer, that's like, I don't know if it's the best class or just best class for me. I was able to beat all three of like the level ones.
Oh, okay.
I
So
have not been able to
haven't
beat a level 2
beaten
yet.
I haven't beaten the I want to say Brumach so bad.
I've come. It took me.
What's that thing called?
I don't know. You mind flooded me. It's like a big Praetorian though. Dreadnought.
Dreadnought. Yeah, I haven't beaten the Dreadnought yet. That guy's kind
I've come close. The only I was only able to do with the engineer at first.
Was that the end of the run? If you
yeah, you kill him and you just go home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll add more. I mean, yeah, I'll post the little roadmap thing. It looks cool, but
yeah. So that's Deep Rock Survivor.